time to find out how the second map is gonna go down. Cloud9 put up a fight versus Gambit, but not enough to overcome Overpass. Now they're gonna be going into Cobblestone, where the North Americans do feel more at home. Will they get to that home crowd in the Oracle? That's the question that will be answered in this next one. And these guys are hopefully to my left gonna be helping you guys understand how this is going down.
We are your oracles.
You are the oracles for the Oracle,
yeah.
And will Cloud9 get there? Jordan, jumping in with you just to set the scene. Cobblestone, they're comfortable,
yeah.
right?
So the first thing we've established after watching the first map is that we know the Gambit guys like to play stay-at-home defense. So when we say that, we mean they're kind of just not too worried about reading the other team with intuition. They're set in facts. They like to stay in their home setup, 3B, 2A, the kind of traditional thing. And one thing that we talked about is if you're going to play a style like that, C9 has to do a good job managing the economy there. Right. I think if C9 doesn't let them get that double op and they still try to play 3-2, C9 can literally just hit B every round after waiting out the plat smokes. And so my mindset for C9 is don't let them get those ops and don't die early to nothing because they're not doing anything special. They're going to sit in the bomb sites end of the round anyways. Don't worry about the early round. Let it get late. Use those numbers.
So don't go rushing.
Yeah, let them waste utility. They're going to be they're going to be sitting 3B at most of the round anyways. Take A hall control with one guy late. They're still going to have 2A. That's fine.
Okay.
Late B exact.
Interesting. What are your expectations, Chad? It sounds like it's going to have to be quick.
I think C9 have one of the most dangerous drop duos, like in taking it on the T side of Stewie and Automatic. They do that fantastically well. If they can get that, I think the key to some A splits and forcing Gambit to actually have to rotate and be on their feet where they're uncomfortable could be definitely something which could be successful for Cloud9.
So destabilize the Gambit, very comfortable defense, get under their skin and get, believe it or not, an early start, a strong start. We'll see how it does go, and if we get to see our the third one on the cards is Mirage. Stewie said we wouldn't see it, but in that case, it's not going to be looking good for you Cloud9 fans. Either way, let's jump in. It's Cobblestone, our second map of our second quarterfinal.
It is the second map, and we did have nothing tell us that Stewie said it was going to be a 2-0 for Cloud9. That dream is dead very quickly. Gambit took map 1 on Overpass in an overtime affair. Must-win scenario for Cloud9 if they want to play in front of the home crowd in the Oracle Arena.
Yeah, I actually think what we heard was said was it wouldn't go to map 3. So actually that could still happen. Maybe that's not necessarily what Cloud9 want.
Definitely not what they were expecting when he said that, isn't it? Regardless, though, this is going to be a map where they have a chance. One thing they have to prevent themselves from doing is not only was the op, I mean, they touched on the desk, not only was the op very, very strong in stopping their offense on Overpass, but they have to make sure they're not getting flanked out and they're not getting read by Gambit throughout this map as well. That was something that bit them pretty hard on Overpass. Pretty quick play down mid for Russian. Stewie's going to force Mo back immediately.
Yeah, he got the information, though, that there were players there. They're going to try and capitalize on this as they make their way out towards long. Actually boosted Stewie up. He's just going to look to try and sit there, playing that off angle, right? So if anyone comes around, they really shouldn't read that that's where he's going to be.
It's also made Doja more honest of the split towards the A bomb site through drops. Cbble and Automatic with the bomb are here. Hobbit's got a lot of information from range, but at the moment, that's kind of the idea that Doja's worried about. The rest of Cloud9, they're now going to meet up with Tarek, Stewie, and Rush for a hit towards A. There's 2 smokes, there's 2 flashbangs and an HE grenade. Fitch is transferring into the bomb site as well. Mo's got to be, it's going to be interesting to see how Mo plays this, because he could get blocked out by a smoke if he decides to fall back into the double doors.
And here we go, he's going to be forced back there by the smoke, but he doesn't even live to get to the other side of it. Rush is able to open up, and now Cloud9 roaring into action. Stewie, they're going to drop out another. This rotation from Hobbit going to take its time to come through from Gambit. The rest of the guys have to try and pull some numbers back in the meantime. Doja's already expended both of those flashbangs he had early on. Adren is able to open up, so they found a foot in the door. Now they're going to look to try and exploit this, continuing to push on in. Cbble takes damage, goes blow for blow. Stewie's been boosted up, catches Doja off guard. Hobbit in the meantime is putting up numbers, starts to come on in. It's a 2 versus 3. Stewie's going to emerge from the back, and he's so deadly. Adren, 6 HP versus the world, and Tarek will manage to snuff him out. Cloud9, they pick up the pistol. They get the good start here on the T side of Cobble.
Yeah, very nice job from Cloud9 on the pistol. The flashbang just forces Mo back into cover very, very briefly. Smoke's not even plumed by the time he goes for a repeat, but he's already taken out very quickly. No chance for him and Fitch to get any kind of synergy going at that A bomb site. So an overwhelming pistol, despite some kills coming out. Now it's the Deagles. Doja, Adren, and Fitch bring those forward. Adren's alone at the B bomb site. This is a stack towards A, mostly in halls, so Stewie and Rush have to be careful. Fitch making his presence known. Adren brought down low by the scout, but that should temper his aggression and his peeking and his ability to gather information for his team, but Hobbit's gonna have to rotate back to help that out.
Yeah, there's 3 players grouped up here for Gambit over at long, and there is actually a growing force of Cloud9 players amassing over in mid. Stewie, gonna be the point man, has support from Tarek, starts to push on up, and spots ahead of one of these players over at long. He's gonna send Fitch back, doesn't expect the boost, and now Doja's there to assist. He has an AK, gonna go rounding into the waiting gun of Tarek, and this is where things could get complicated. You can see Tarek finds himself stuck between a rock and a hard place. Hobbit's coming around from behind, and now he's fully flashed. This should be the demise. Ooh, but apparently not. He's going to overstay his welcome. In the meantime, the rest of Cloud9 have taken control of this B bomb site, and Gambit, I think what they thought was a bit of a gift has turned out to be anything but. Tarek now exists in the back line. They're going to lose Adren in B.
That's very sketchy for Cloud9, though, going right into that stack. That's exactly what Gambit wanted, was to lure them into that. And to top it all off, the first person leading the way is Stewie with an AK-47. Wasn't that MAC-10? That's a great response from Hobbit, and now he'll be able to get a rifle. There's the AK. They need to hunt this down. Automatic is already over here. Hobbit on only 1 HP shouldn't be able to keep this alive, but he could cause more damage if he gets just one more kill. That'd be huge. Rush gonna transfer over to the site, trying to find him out. Not ready for that at all, and there's the kill from Hobbit. Anything else after this is just a gift. Skadoodle with the scout. He does find the kill. He's just gonna be able to swap over to the AK-47, but it was costly for C9.
Yeah, I mean, they had to invest so much into getting that 1 AK up of Hobbit, and only being 1 HP, still being able to find a frag in that scenario is just worth so much to Gambit. Now, they're going to be in with a shot to actually remake some of that money back with these MAC-10s on Stewie and Automatic. Gambit are going to be stacking all 5 players inside this B-bomb site, which, as we can see, Automatic is going to be over there with his SMG. They take control of drop. Stewie, in the meantime, clearing out long here. Tarek going to go down to the USP. That's a AK picked up over on platform. Mo's going to take that all day long. Skadoodle will be in with the trade, but he's not looking too healthy, and Mo's able to find him. Now Automatic. This MAC-10 becomes fairly pivotal for them here. He's able to get himself one. Looks to duck out of there. They have to boost up to go get the bomb as Gambit are progressing up towards it, and this could go very wrong for Cloud9 here.
And Doja's got an AK-47 now, and he's the one closest to the bomb. That should pretty much seal it, and also Rush knows where Doja is now. And there it is, but both of these rounds not looking clean for C9. They've got to clean that up. Very, very dicey. Those USPs going to work on Tarek, and then even some follow-up kills as well. The AK-47's at range for C9. That's where they should have had a huge advantage, but no one's certainly felt comfortable taking those fights and getting the kills easily. Either way, 3-0 for C9. They've got a little bit of money built up behind this. UMP on Doja, 4 M4s on the Gambit side of things. They are lacking utility, obviously, and some kits. This time, Cloud9 starts this out with 4 players leaning towards the A side of the map. Stewie, Rush, Tarek, and Skadoodle Automatic over towards B just to watch for any aggression on platform, any aggression in the boost.
There isn't too much in the way of utility left for Gambit. That's the one issue for them here, especially now as Rush and Stewie start to progress through Matrix Pitches to get the hell out of there. He hears the players coming his way, and he just manages to escape the rattle of that MAC-10.
It's all right, though. Because they took that silently, they almost catch Fitch off guard. And look at the utility. There's over a minute left. There's only 1 smoke on Hobbit, 1 flashbang on Doja. So there's going to be a lot of duels here for this Cloud9 team if they want to find him. They have a huge advantage with all the Molotovs and nades that they have. Rush can just wait. Mo, Fitch, and Adren at this A bomb site lining up for the execution. Here's the peek from Mo with the M4. He gets traded. That's good timing on the peek, and Fitch can do nothing to follow it up. Big advantage for C9 as they press the issue. Molotovs behind these smokes. Adren is trying to find a clever position. Stewie, he comes over the top, doesn't see anything, but the kill is missed from Adren. He does eventually find one. Stewie's able to clean him out. Now he's going to come back into it. Skadoodle's already taken out Hobbit, and Doja on the flank is left with no teammates, and he's left with no life as well. 4 rounds for C9.
Yeah, and even if things had gone down differently inside the site, you had automatic flanking round from behind. And on top of that, it wasn't really discovered that was what was going down inside that B bomb site. So that's something else that Cloud9 can now look to break out in the future. And Gambit will be none the wiser. They're going to have to go for a bit of a partial buy. The players that can afford have invested what they can. Fitch has himself a Deegan armor. Doja with the smoke and flash. He's going to take that early on over here towards B. Sticks the solitary smoke up in drop down. Just to try and delay this presence from Cloud9 that much longer.
That's a missed Molotov to start things out. Sui gets a kill onto Adreno. That's towards the A bomb site. Now he's down in mid. I believe that was even a spam, so Sui will be happy with that one. Tarek spots Hobbit jumping back over. Some information gained by Gambit, but nothing they didn't already know. As Tarek's going to start moving his way forward. So is Stewie towards A. One more spot. Tarek now is going to pounce. This is his opportunity. Hobbit, he's looking to get an angle. There's a nice flashbang. Hobbit jumps up. There's a good kill. He is traded off immediately. And danger averted, although some kills do come out. No chance of recovering a weapon. No chance of building upon it for Gambit. So Cloud9 sitting in a powerful position, but the losing bonus is at its max for Gambit.
And this is almost looking like the early days version of Overpass. And once again, a return from Gambit that we saw on day one. You know, we kind of questioned whether or not we'd see day one Gambit or day two, and if anything, we've seen both.
Yeah, I was gonna say we certainly saw both of them in map one. They really got it together toward the end of towards the second half, and then into overtime as well. So that was much nicer to see. Mo with the AWP is going to be at the B bomb site. He's actually going to get up onto the stairwell, try and get some peek around this box. He's smoked off at the moment. It looks like Cloud9 just wants to bust right through this. Molotov forcing him. He's very uncomfortable. There's a leg shot, but it's a great kill for Tarek. They've got to find Hobbit. He has a chance here to turn this around. And I don't think they're going to check for this. They're all blind at the moment. They're all grouped up. There's the kill. It took a little bit. He swings out wide. They line up. He only gets 2, but the HP is so low.
Yeah, now it's a shooting gallery for Doja inside of the site, but he's going to fall prey to Skadoodle. The two players, 14 and 15 HP, they're the ones left. And Adren. Posted up here, that incendiary gonna flush out Tarek into the waiting guns. Automatic now left in a 1 versus 2. Easy frag for Fitch. And Gambit, they managed to get themselves their first round.
You can see the pat on the shoulder to Hobbit there. He might not have gotten as many kills as he could have in that situation, but 2 kills and all the damage done. Cloud9 just didn't have the HP to take these fights afterwards. That follow-up dink brings players so low. We're going to get a tactical pause out of Cloud9. They want the response. They want to reset this economy early and catapult themselves into a big lead. It happened on Overpass and Gambit. We're still able to come back and survive. But Cloud9 want to apply a lot of pressure here. AWP is going to be in Skadoodle's hands, and unfortunately Gambit wasn't able to salvage Mo's. They weren't able to get that back, so they're going to be without that weapon on the defense.
And we quite often see, you know, after these tactical pauses are taken, one of the teams will be trying to change the pace up, right? Catch them unaware, change that default they've been playing. When you look at the economy, do you see Gambit actually kind of taking that risk here, or do you just think they stick to what worked in the previous round?
I think they stick to what worked. I mean, you have to remember as well, the tough part is, you know, Mo was getting aggressive with that AWP and he only got the leg shot, which is unfortunate. They don't have that, so but I still think you don't really have, you don't want to do anything too crazy on a reset round. You want to play something that's more reliable, that can be more consistent. Actually, I mean, this is why Hobbit tries to get aggressive, tries to catch him off guard, and he gets dropped. Not only are you missing utility and weaponry, you're now missing a player as well.
All these smokes going to go flying in. It's the wall of smokes down on B, but that bomb does not look interested. Instead, it's creeping out towards middle, but it hasn't been enough to lure Fitch nor Adren out from their hidey holes over here at long. Aggression's been taken into connector now from the Cloud9. Okay, Rush, that was incredibly quick. Mo's gone down. They're allowed to collapse in now from behind, and this is where things get tricky for Adren and Fitch. Adren's not been left to hang out to dry out here on long, but he is going to be putting in work, putting up numbers as well as he emerges from the stables. Will finally be dealt with as the wallbang comes in from automatic, but they don't account for Fitch, who now comes crawling out of the woodwork. He's going to lose Doja, and it's all eyes on this latest addition to this Gambit roster. 1 versus 3. They've been allowed to pick up the bomb, and Tarek will be there to smite him down. Cloud9 They come straight back with that reset round.
Yeah, very cool strategy from Cloud9. Obviously, the opening pick on Hobbit helps, but wall of smoke in towards the B bomb site. Gambit is playing on the other side of it, and they have to force their way back through, and Rush coming down drop. Mo wasn't ready for it. And good on Cloud9, also handling a pretty tough situation. The first player up mid turns that corner and Adren drops him. He had the bomb, so they actually had to fight for that the whole time. And they did it patiently. They made sure they didn't overextend themselves. And with the harsh reset, you can see it's back to pistol and armor. It's Deagles and CZ75s for the Gambit side of things. 4 players towards the B bomb site. It's only Adren in the A halls. Almost catches Stewie.
So he will be allowed to just stick around here at long. You can see just the presence of that one man has pulled Hobbit off from the B-bomb site. He now resides down in Connector. They actually now rotate him back in. As a few choice flashbangs and nades start to approach it to drop. Cloud9 with the necessary utility down into drop that they can just grow in and grab control. Dangerous angle to peek into though when you are up against these pistols, so they're very cautious of this idea. They do go ahead and stick a man down in there. But Hobbit showing exactly why this is such a tricky position. Doja able to find one more out of Rush, and now the rest of Cloud9 there somewhat forced to try and make this play. They start to progress on in. Adren's flanking around from behind. He could be a real threat to these guys as Stewie and Skadoodle, the last 2 left. Adren in with the D, gonna go ahead and try and finish these 2 players off. Skadoodle does what he can. But Doja, a merciless X-God as Gambit will be in with a second round.
So great from Gambit. As soon as the pressure is felt in drop, they have a large number of players just swarm it. Make sure you get those 2 kills, get the AK-47s. One player in that B bomb site was able to hold back the remaining players of Cloud9 from even gaining that ground. That's normally what you'd think from the T side, is if all that presence is in drop, you attack platform. You just get out, you swing out wide, you make sure they can't rotate back into position. Unfortunately, Gambit also salvaged the AK-47s. So they're able to take some of those duels, and Cloud9 just couldn't gain enough. 6-2. Another tactical pause from Cloud9. You can see how important they're playing the economy game. Every time Gambit wins a round, they want to go back into it. They know they don't have a great amount of money into this as well. I think they're going to sit back and play conservative and go back to the Deagles. Pistols of their own, see if they can return the favor.
This is a shot for Gambit to build up money here on the CT side and crucially start to get some more rounds up on the board. It is going to be a borderline deco. And it's aggression down long early on. Adren going to go ahead and boost up Fitch. He gets him up in the turret. This man has to act like a railgun now. They're going to start to come around the corner. Bait and switch. Adren gets the attention. Fitch smashed them down, but Tarek, that's incredibly fast. Now Fitch, he has to make a stand, and stand he shall as he's in with a second. He'll go down to Skadoodle. And these Deagles doing damage. Stewie falls over in mid. They're going to be happy with this. They've got themselves an AK. There's an extra AK, I think, over at long if they want it. Automatic falls, and now Skadoodle 1 versus 3. The bomb's down in Matrix.
I think the bomb's actually down on the boost. I don't think it's actually possible for Scooter to win by plant. One more kill regardless would be ideal. Getting wrapped upon as aggressively, almost finds that, but it's an immediate kill out of Hobbit. So some damage done, which is good for C9. As we mentioned a couple times, Gambit hasn't been able to establish their money in a strong position. This is great from Fitch, though. Just enough kills to give his team, just enough time bot to give his team the ability to recover from that. Some of these Deagles for C9 have been so dangerous. We saw it on on overpass as well. Automatic with a couple nice deeks was able to turn the round on its head. Let's do it here. All back in Skadoodle's hands. Mo still hasn't had his from the since the 4th round, I think is when he had it, or the 5th round.
Yeah, they have been strapped for cash over on the side of Gambit. Right now, Cloud9 continuing making noise over here in middle. Definitely got the attention of Adren, who's lying away over at long. Has support from Fitch. These two have been decent at holding down these early pushes on in. Adren now, he's really going to be tested. He hears that one smoke go out. Going to go ahead and prevent that push in from long. Aggressive smoke down here at B long as well. Allows Hobbit to start to take the aggression. He can hear rotations coming in from a mile away now. And that's a nice buffer because when you look at it, Gambit, they've got Adren and Fitch, but they were very, very far away from the possibility of a rotation. Hobbit.
They know he's here.
Yeah, playing with Fate. That smoke's giving it all away. Hobbit gets caught out, and Rush, he's opened things up.
These flashbangs, though, Moe, done a lot of damage. Rush and Stewie have been whittled down. They've got to have success in the entries. Unfortunately, it's Stewie leading the way. Flashbangs are doing a nice job of holding back this hit. Trades coming out. Skadoodle not able to get into the action, and Tarek somehow wins that. So does Automatic. It turns on its head. Adren out in the open. There's Skadoodle. An up shot from behind. A 7th round for Cloud9. They had to fight the whole way towards that bomb site, but they've done it.
And Cloud9 have been so good at keeping the economy of Gambit modest.
And here's the cool thing is Hobbit almost had a miraculous play. You could see there's a flashbang coming in from a teammate as that smoke fades. It's just a second late. It fades so quickly that Rush is able to spot him out and get that kill. But if that flashbang goes off, Hobbit can do some real damage at a different timing.
Yeah, just seconds off though, and now they've come to pay for it. Hobbit, the man we've looked to so many times for Gambit to make these big plays. He's the one left in the B-bomb site, only with the D by his side. Sniper gone up. The Molotov keeps him away. Now that fades. Shots rallying through the smoke. Isn't too keen on walking into them just yet, but now we're going to start to peek into this. Tarek is going to lie in wait on the corner. Cloud9 start to throw out utility into mid and drop down as they try to position for the A split. And this is perfect for Gambit. They've got the stack here.
Ooh, that shot scared Stewie. He thought he was about to get attacked. Goes for the hop. But yeah, Mo, Fitch, and Doja all just waiting to pounce. Thankfully, Cloud9's bailed out of there. It's only Hobbit alone at B. And Gambit's going to be happy taking this gamble. Doesn't look like it's going to pan out.
Hobbit starts to peek on out. Rush is right there. Almost aligned with the crosshair. Will be spotted out. No one in a position to shut him down. But now the peek comes in from Tarek. Hobbit, he's taken the first. He's fully flashed now, trying to buy time for the rest of his team to come in. Doesn't manage to get too much done, but Mo's hot on their heels from behind. Skadoodle and Automatic between them. It's a flurry of death. And Cloud9, they're going to pick themselves up an 8th round.
Cloud9's had a lot of dangerous scenarios on their anti-ecos and anti-force buys. That one, they almost get flanked out, and perhaps with some more powerful weapons, that flank actually does some damage, but because it's just USPs, they're able to respond quickly. Hobbit did such a good job. The one kill, buying time, holding him off as long as he possibly could with just a deagle, almost makes it work. 8-3, off back in Mo's hands. It's glass cannon. That's going to be over towards the B-bomb site. Doja's got a UMP, and Adren has a shotgun. Not the greatest buy, obviously, but Gambit doing what they can. And again, it's slow pace from Cloud9. This default they've come out with has really prevented any early damage from being inflicted on them. This time it's 3 players towards A. Skadoodle is buddied up with Automatic, at least initially.
Yeah, we haven't actually seen the AWP in play for Gambit in quite some time, so we're curious to see if that is going to be the change that they needed. 3 players holding it over here on the A-bomb site, which changed around from what we've seen from Gambit in these last few rounds.
This is dangerous. It looks like Rush, Tarek, and Skadoodle are going to hit these A-hulls, and Stewie's going to try and find a timing to wrap up danger stairs behind him, but that could be sketchy. Doja just rotated away, which makes it a bit safer, but still, this shotgun up close. Here it comes, turns from the flashes. He gets the shot off, but he doesn't get the kill, and now he's trapped. Now they just spray the corner and wait for the re-peek, and no one's there to help him.
Yeah, they've lost the Dren, and with that, they've lost control of Long. The push going to continue to come on in. Rush and Tarek have been tagged pretty damn low. Start this initial flurry of utility out towards A. Fitch going to go ahead and dispatch of Stewie down in mid, and that's enough to send Cloud9 packing in the other direction. They're now going to look to hit up this B-bomb site, and Automatic, well, he's been heard dropping into drop down. Oh. Looks to try and hold this. They hear the scopes. They know exactly where the AWPer is. There's so little time left. All he has to do is stop the bomb from crossing, and this is a round 1 for Gambit, so they have to plant safe. They are able to get it down just in the nick of time. They lose Rush in the process. Skadoodle's doing what he can to keep this round a Cloud9 round. Time working against them. Automatic gonna fall over in drop. Skadoodle's been spotted at short, but they line up for him. Hobbit pulls things back, and Tarek locked in a 1 versus 2. Trapped on the stairs. Gonna miss that shot, and Tarek, that's all it takes. He'll be toppled. Gambit in with their 4th round. And Cloud9. They leave that one down to the wire. They come to pay the price for that decision.
Yeah, they got the plant down, and they still had themselves in a situation where they could have won it. Felt like Automatic had so much utility that he didn't use. And this missed shot from Tarek just kind of seals it from there, especially considering Doja has the kit. And oh, that looks like that's close. Tarek's going to be scratching his head on that one. But Cloud9, I've even frequently seen them run down the clock that close with such a big rotation. It almost works out for them. If that kit goes down in that position, they're not able to get the defuse, even if they do find that onto Tarek. So now it's fast-paced. Now it's a switch up. It's the uppercut attempt from Cloud9. That last flashbang is great onto Mo, but he gets the timing anyways, even blind. And the rest of Cloud9 can't follow it up. They can't take advantage of the space that Stewie created for him, and now they've got no utility. They've got no flashbangs. It's just the smokes that are up now that will soon dissipate, and the Molotovs behind them. Rush trying to make his way into the site. This UMP doing some work, turning the corner. Tarek's low. There's the USP. One kill is not enough. Doja continues to move forward. No one has stopped him yet, and he's got great positioning. One more kill for him, and the rest of his teammates finally chiming in. Skadoodle in a 1-on-3 with the AK. Dropping down, the op holds him in though. That finishes things off, a 5th for Gambit.
It was just utter confusion in that B-bomb site. The grey wall of smokes comes in, and then a few more to complement it, and it's just perfect for Doja on that UMP to take the close fights, push on up, and I mean, that frag there was the one that really changed it. It forces out, I think that was Tarek inside the site out of position, and it's an easy frag to be picked up there from Mo.
Yeah, there wasn't really a lot of urgency from Cloud9 to take that bomb site. They really got stuck. Great usage from utility by Gambit to hold them on the platform. And also the fear of that AWP, I think, pinned them down just a little bit as well. Even with the smokes up, no one really wanted to move, and Doja had so much freedom when he gets that kill onto Tarek.
So now for Cloud9, it's just almost Glocks across the board. Stewie's got a D. He's the one man who could do damage. The one thing leaning in their favor right now is it's only a Dren here. He's going to be watching from inside the site, just peeking down into middle from SWAT van. So he's able to call that into the rest of the team, then the rotations can come through. But if he's not able to fend off against this many pistols all in one place, if he goes down, then, well, the bomb plant could potentially come in. Rotation's already knocking on their door with no utility to stop that. Gambit have no problem flooding these players back into the site and preventing this bomb going down.
Yeah, and all the guns now coming to bear. Even losing a Dren, it's just not enough. So it's going to be a 6th for Gambit, much like Overpass again. Start out slow and they figure things out, and now they claw themselves back into the game. And it's all up to Cloud9 to try and extend this lead, extend themselves up to 9-6 instead of 8-7. But Gambit, again, just doing a great job of adjusting at a certain point during the first half when they're getting beat up. And now they have everything they want. They have all the rifles, they have the AWP, Molotovs, all across the board. Beautiful buy from Gambit. We'll see what Cloud9 can do again, opening up with the default. A great pick from Skadoodle, especially in the last round of the half. It's almost like Mo thought maybe he could throw him off guard because it hasn't happened. Maybe catch him snoozing and not Skadoodle. Although following this up is going to be dangerous. Hobbit is boosted. They've had this bait and switch set up a number of times, and it's worked decently well. There's a good opening kill. They're going to check this? No. They think the op is pretty much alone, and that's an easy 2 kills for Hobbit.
Yeah, he's been able to keep things even, and actually Adren's now able to drop out automatic. Stewie's forced his way forward, but Adren in with a double, and now Skadoodle. He's come so close in so many of these rounds for clutching it out for Cloud9, and now it'd be a perfect way to end this first half if it all culminates into this. And he's going to be holding. He's very wary of Hobbit in this position. He was the man who equalized things out, and Skadoodle still doesn't check it.
Hobbit just loving it, just sitting up on his perch, getting a couple free kills, 3 free kills basically. Nice job from Gambit to recover and get up towards 7. Cloud9 is facing elimination, and they're going to end that first half losing 4 straight. So Gambit putting themselves in good position moving forward. We'll see who is going to complete the map, who's going to complete the win. Is Gambit going to take it in 2, or is Cloud9 going to force a 3rd map? Stay tuned. Gambit win 4 straight to end that first half to keep things as close as possible. Meanwhile, Cbble has done everything he can to claw his team into a lead, to keep that lead as big as possible. It's only 1. He's at 16-9. He had a great first half. More work to do, though, now onto the defense if Cloud9 wants to avoid elimination at IEM Oakland.
It's tricky to say, isn't it? But Cloud9, it's going to be armor across the board, all except for Cbble. He's going to be the man bearing the kit and smoke. Gambit, they've gone fairly utility heavy. We've only got 3 players with armor. Smoke, 2 smokes actually, and a Molotov flash combination. They're going to be grouped up over here towards this bomb site. And automatic, well, Leon is already looking to try and potentially throw some spanners in the works, as he was holding close to middle. Now going to opt to play things a bit safer. Falls back to the warm embrace of his teammates, but Cbble already going to be feeling a different embrace. It's the embrace of death. He's gone down. Rush does what he can to start to claw things back. It's going to fall into a 4-on-4. Fitch is pushed all the way up, though, and they're not ready for this. Catches them unaware. They're doing all they can to keep things even, and they will. 2-on-2. Automatic showing no sign of giving up inside of A, and he's able to finish it off with a 4K.
That's so big from Automatic. He was playing a dangerous game throughout that round, but able to fall back and get in prime position. And he's essentially playing off all of his teammates who are just rushing to their death. There's a good kill onto Fitch, coming back while Mo's distracted. Hobbit takes out one more, and Automatic finishes him as well. So great mobility, great sense of wrapping around that bomb site when needed. Second pistol round for Cloud9. They've won both in this game. They started the first half off with a 5-0 lead, hoping to do the same thing here. It is against a buy-up. It is against armor and pistols. No utility from the Gambit guys. It looks like they want to try and have some kind of a split towards the A bomb site. Adrenaline, Doja, and A-Halls with the bomb, and 3 above drop. Rush is going to be the main point of defense on this. And Automatic, exposed, just drops the smoke and falls away. Tarek's here now as well in drop zone. That smoke might delay this a little bit. Might actually even bust up the strategy overall. Timely for Tarek to help Rush out.
Gambit. Got 3 players ready to head it into drop down. That smoke's going to dissipate sooner rather than later.
That smoke's done wonders over towards long B on platform, because Rush has gotten into a whole different position. The drop is now open. The split towards the A bomb site is a very real danger at the moment.
And comes this push. Cbble, he's dropped the bomb. The rotations are already starting to pour on in. Rush actually doesn't last too long defending the connector play. Cbble keeps hunting down Doja. But Hobbit and Mo looking to try and cause a stir. It's Automatic who does manage to pull things back from the brink, and Cloud9, they're going to be happy to get that 10th round on the board.
Disjointed on the hit. Maybe Gambit thought that Cloud9 was playing more passive into the bomb site, but when that bomb gets dropped at long A, it kind of gives up the idea of what's happening. Rush is able to get into a better position. He's able to kind of stop it, or at least slow it down as much as possible. Still pretty costly for C9. They lose 3. 1 SMG on the board on Rush. For Cloud9 looking like they're going to be able to go into the second half with a 3-0 after winning the pistol. Gambit all bunched up right around drop zone, and there's a good pick off from Tarek, just peeking out towards long. The confidence of knowing you're going up against Glocks more than likely. 1 flashbang and drop. Rush is going to peek late, but they line up. He gets 1 kill. Now he's just staying alive. Now he's just buying time before he swings forward. He can only get 1, though. Stewie's there to clean him up. A couple of assists go the way of Rush. And Hobbit's the only one left with just a Glock. Stewie, that's easy for him.
Yes, the Cloud9, they have themselves a 4-round advantage, and I have a couple of rebuys. They're having a buy up on Rush, who did go down. Keeps them that much more modest. Going to have the Famous dropped over from Stewie. They make the conscious decision to not get the AWP here. There was enough money on the back of Stewie to throw on over. So now, the question is, what's in the pipeline for Gambit? It's going to be rifles across the board. Able to get a decent bit of utility as well to go behind it. Adren will be the most limited. He's got himself a Molotov and a flash.
You can just tell how important it is for Gambit to get started on winning ways very early, the fact that they've just taken a tactical pause. I mean, they still have all 4 from the first half, so they didn't use any. This just takes away 1. but they don't want to get down into that rut of starting out 0 to 5, because then all of a sudden Cloud9 would have such a massive lead they'd have to come back from. So this is a very important round for the Gambit side of things, especially considering they've lost both pistols.
That is very true. They are fairly desperate to try and pick this round up, as you say. Don't want to let things start to slip through their fingers early on. And it's going to be aggression over here towards B. All 5 players from Gambit posted up. And that boost from Stewie just going to go ahead and present them a opening frag on a silver platter. Rush goes in to try and get the M4, and as a result, pays the price for his greed. Tarek backed into the corner. Does get no work done. An automatic Skadoodle, the 2 players that are over at A. This is a save situation.
That was sloppy. That boost cost Cloud9 everything in this round. Rush tries to go for the M4. He sticks around and drops for too long, and he gets taken out. Tarek is stuck between both choke points, doesn't know where to go. There was no contingency set up for a failed boost in that sense. And you can see the result. Cloud9 can't even fight for the round win here. Automatic just trying to survive and not able to do it. This is now becoming expensive. Skadoodle would like to take some of these guns away, and he does, but his position is now known. He's going to try and get one more AK would be ideal. Even if they hunt as fast as possible, I'm not sure they'll have the ability, as Skadoodle is going to find a safe-ish place. They're going to turn the corner right now. We'll see if they can find him in the van. I doubt it. So 8-11, Gambit win that all-important 4th off the back of the timeout, but they're given maybe perhaps a gift from Stewie in the boost through the smoke, trying to catch him off guard. It doesn't happen whatsoever. No flashbang for him either.
I mean, now for Cloud9, the real issue is this buy is not fantastic. They have a nice bit of utility to go behind it, but they've sacrificed a decent bit of firepower. Automatic and Rush on a UMP and a CZ, respectively. For Gambit, looks to be more of the same, stacking all 5 players up over here towards B early on. This time there won't be a boost to just offer up a luscious early man advantage. Instead, it's a bit more of a passive hold being employed from Cloud9 this time around. Drop down looks to be the focus once again, and they managed to get it. Soaring on in, Automatic tries to make some sort of play, but he will be laid to rest. Tarek, though, it's utter deforestation up here on Tree as he cuts down 2. Hobbit and Mo, all that remain. And this Gambit side, it was looking so good for them early on. Now Mo finds himself trapped here in drop down, and what was a blessing early on has become a bit of a curse for them.
Skadoodle's the one in a tough spot, because Skadoodle's got to watch the A bomb site. He's also got to be very careful behind him, and you can see what he's deciding to watch for the moment. It all depends on how much impact Mo can have. He already has 2 kills here. He's down low. He's just there to cut off a flank. So they're hoping that Hobbit can win a one-on-one fight at A, and Mo can cut off rotations. And I think Mo's been spotted now, so his usefulness is limited. But Skadoodle has no idea that Hobbit is coming into this A bomb site. It's going to be a free plant. It's all on how they can manage to get over. They might even just decide to let Mo be here. Who cares? Get over towards A when this plant goes down. Tarek's pushing up in the flank to take care of it.
They've done a very good job of outing Mo, as now it all falls to Hobbit. 1v3 going to try and take the duels early on, but he has to be cautious. Skadoodle's already there, but he misses the opportunity. Hobbit tries to do what he can, but with 3 players coming his way, he will be falling down. And Cloud9 managed to retake that. I really like the way they dealt with Mo. They knew he was there, they had him trapped. And when you have someone like that, if the bomb goes down out on A, it can very, very quickly become a bit of an issue, right? You constantly have to be cautious about the man in the back line. So they sent Tarek round to go ahead and defuse that situation.
Yeah, because you know Mo's attention has got to be towards, the window or someone pushing in towards drop behind him. It can't watch all 3, so Tarek finds a great timing. He does a great job. That's what seals the round. That's what at least gives Cloud9. It looked like everything was going to collapse. So Tarek is huge in that round. Another 4 kill of his own as he takes out Hobbit in the end. But I really liked watching Hobbit in that 1-on-3 and the way he was finding his fights, because you can see the idea. You can see why he's always such a dangerous player. Crossing over, he's got a 1-on-1 with Stewie right at the crack of the door as he tried to cross the ramp. If he gets that kill and he's able to get onto the ramp, then he's at a headshot angle where the AK is going to reign supreme against the M4, and he can at least find Skadoodle. So the ideas were there to win that. Unfortunately, it just doesn't go his way. It's a 12th round for Cloud9, but Gambit, tactical timeout, and they're going to buy right back into it. 4 AK-47s, a CZ on the board as well, but C9's got everything. Everything but an AWP, that is. They have full utility, they have full kits.
Yeah, we actually still have yet to see the AWP bought out here in the second half. Neither team really having the economy to support it. I think Cloud9 did in round 4, but they made the conscious decision not to.
It's just been such a battle for that economic control early on. It's been this back and forth between these two teams, so this early control is so important for Gambit to keep it away from Cloud9. And at the moment, they're not doing a great job. This is the last chance they have of breaking it, or else Cloud9, it's looking like it'll be a map 3.
I know. That's what Cloud9 want. Smokes and flashes out here towards mid from the side that want anything but. And Fitch is able to open up with the CZ. Automatics in with the return, but it's Stewie to take the aggression. Target-rich environment yields no fruit. And now, man advantage up for Gambit. They have to go ahead and get this bomb down. Rush and Tarek. They're the defending forces. The two counter-terrorists have to try and pull this back, and they're able to find the first onto Doja. That's the bomb dropped out in the open. Luckily, the smoke goes down to block off that angle. Now Rush falls out on the peak. Tarek left 1 versus 2, but he was the star performer just rounds ago for Cloud9. He's got to try and do it once again. Hobbit and Fitch. They have this crossfire set up. Tarek just trapped in the angle here. Fitch goes walking out. Tarek doubles down. He's made it possible. 3 frags for him. Completes the hat trick. And once again, it's all eyes on Tarek as Cloud9 soar forward in with the 13th round.
So patient for Tarek just against that wall as well, and Fitch walks right into it. There's no reason for him to swing out that wide. You don't need to try and get a new position. You have both players inside the bomb site. It's not ideal, but this is so risky from Fitch. And then Hobbit as well is caught out in the open. He swung so far. Ooh, and you can see some frustration at Hobby. You don't see that too frequently, but he did glance over as, oh, he's very, very stressed. Not ideal for Gambit. And a tactical pause out of Cloud9, making sure that this round goes as smooth as possible, perhaps even knowing that it's going to be investment of some sort from Gambit, just saying we have a big enough lead to where they're going to want to fight for this. So Cloud9 up 13-8, looking to run away with map 2.
Yeah, I think, Cloud9 not only is the pressure on now, but they're very worried the idea that their money isn't looking too great. And on top of that, the last 2 rounds, Gambit have been able to get that bomb down up on the A bomb site. And retakes haven't really been the strong suit for Cloud9. They've always been quite man-intensive to have to go into, so they have to be cautious here. Gambit, they've opted to go for the force. Didn't leave much up to chance. Want to try and keep that Cloud9 economy down low. Once again, same as what we're used to seeing. Gambit starting things off with 5 players over here towards B.
Yeah, it's going to be heavily primed towards drop. Tarek and Rush are both here, though. This could be deadly. Dren's close up. There's the pop flash right through. They can barely get through the smoke, although they do eventually make it. Tarek's committed now. He gets 1, but he can't get the second. Skadoodle's here to hold down the fort with the AWP. He's got a pair of kills there, going for the 3rd, but he knows he doesn't have to chase it, knows he doesn't have to risk it. He's got teammates covering him. Dren is the only man left, and now he's gone. 14 for Cloud9, and this will be a buy round. This will be rifles for Gambit, or whatever they can get.
I mean, Cloud9 have Gambit exactly where they want them. You kind of get into this state where Gambit almost seem they're floundering around. They struggle to pick that momentum back up, and not being allowed the AWP on Mo as well, I feel like is holding them back in some regard. We haven't really seen him have it all too often throughout this map, and he's still putting up numbers, but that AWP could be the change of pace they need. Already, Skadoodle going to come out on top, out towards long. The trade will be there, courtesy of Hobbit. Things are kept even, and now actually Automatic going to find himself in a bit of a tricky situation down here in mid. You can see Rush rotating around to try and help out, but it's too little too late as Automatic just thrown in amongst the wolves there and will be picked apart.
Yeah, now you have to imagine Stewie's gathered up with Rush. They've got to get aggressive. They can't just sit passively and wait for the response from Gambit. They have to go find something, at least information of what's coming. And it's all down to timing here. Doja peering down the stairs. I don't know if they spotted Stewie. They might have. He's gonna push up. Hobbit's watching for this, though. This is tough. I don't think there's a chance Stewie even checks that. Rush with a kill onto Doja. They're gonna come right back towards the A-bomb site. They're gonna come right back at him until that smoke goes up. This is all on Rush to hold this off.
Fitch keeps pushing on up, but those couple of shots, Rush just allowed to walk on up. Fitch goes down. See, Tarek actually began a rotation over, so he's out of position to defend B. Gonna look to now push back in, and Gambit slowing down here gives him that time to start to push in, but he's out in the open. Hobbit finds it, and now Rush is left 1 versus 2. We saw him ace it out back on Overpass. That was the round that carried them through to overtime. He hasn't been shy of performing heroics when Cloud9 need him to. And he's gonna start to push in. Slowly clearing all of these angles. Made out to platform, finds nothing as both players for Gambit play this incredibly passively. Time working against him, no smoke, no nothing. No information as to where these players are. Rush is going to go ahead and fake it out. And this spurs the peak from Hobbit. Time's ticking away. Hobbit's going to go back in for more. There's no time left in this round and he'll finish things off. Fantastic team play and just great discipline from Gambit there to not let that one get out of hand.
You saw Hobbit extremely angry, extremely frustrated a couple of rounds ago. He gets a 4 kill in this one, so it's just fueled him forward. He's given his team another lifeline. 9-14, and that's all the money for Cloud9. They've got nothing, so Rush not able to clutch that out. Very tough round for them to handle after losing a couple players early on, so Gambit now with the chance to close the gap, build up money of their own, and try and make one more late push. So they're 5 rounds behind C9. 5 rounds away from tying things up. They might have to play for overtime in the end of it, but this time they're going to be patient behind the smokes that are thrown up, waiting to see if Cloud9's going to throw anything at him, any kind of crazy aggression with just the pistols. Considering the amount that Cloud9 has won, 6 out of 7 rounds, they might actually just think this is going to be a full-blown buy round with rifles. They might not expect it to be just pistols. There's the swing. Hobbit gets 1. Dren chiming in on the other, and that's kind of it. They have control of drop. They can now attack both of these bomb sites. There's Fitch with the Galil, and Automatic is out as well. So this will be a 10th for Gambit.
Fitch is holding here, and yep, in comes Skadoodle. Able to find that frag, but it's a... okay, make it 2. He's making things very expensive here for Gambit. Still very much alive, finally going to be finished off. Those 2 frags do a good job of making sure that Gambit economy never really gets that chance to grow.
It's going to be a double save essentially for Cloud9, or double pistol rounds for them. This time, we'll see if they do anything different, maybe something more aggressive. Rush is at least going to have a smoke. Some tools they can use, so will Skadoodle, so maybe some delay tactics are going to come out. Gambit handled it so well in the last round, though. You imagine it would go pretty decent this time. Although we have seen the Deagles of Cloud9 do a lot of damage, do plenty of damage to the Gambit side of things.
Yeah, all too often it seems, and with that little bit extra padding up behind them, the armor across Rush, Automatic, and Stewie. As well as they stack out here towards A, they might try their hand at some aggression perhaps, but Mo, he's already got aggressive for Gambit. Going to be the man to try and clear the angle, has support from Fitch. Lining up a nade. I hope the Doja does provide some sort of flash to try and go in with, but no, there's Stewie to open up. Not taking advantage of the utility they have. Luckily enough, Mo tries to pull things back. He's going to fall to Automatic, and now Skadoodle hears these players rotating out of middle. That's all the information they need. Skadoodle's hot on their heels. He's going to come charging in from behind, but it's read well by Doja.
I think he was just a little too eager to get close. They heard the footsteps, but Tarek lying in wait. Trying to stay hidden. Doja's going to turn the corner. There's the chance, but doesn't last long, and I think all that Cloud9 can do here, Skadoodle and Automatic is low. Skadoodle with no armor, just save these AK-47s down the stretch. Economy is a big part of the game, and you want to make sure that you can have some extra money to spend at a dire moment of need. So no reason to risk these AK-47s that you have. And it'll be an 11th. Gambit making this comeback. It's now going to be 3 in a row for them. Hobbit, again, top performer from the Gambit side of things. He's at 25 at 18. Skadoodle still top fragging for Cloud9, but Tarek is caught up, and he had that critical 1v2 win as well.
And it's looking like, you know, we're seeing a bit of a repeat of Overpass right here. A very good start from Cloud9 initially, and then Gambit, they start to close that gap. And when that momentum gets behind them, they seem like a very difficult team to actually slow down. Right now, Cloud9 can at least take something out of that, and those were 2 AKs carried forward. Gonna really ease the economic burden of having a buy up here. They can get the AWP on Skadoodle, and there's no such luxuries for Gambit. Tac ball is going to be called in from Cloud9.
0 remaining as well. This is the last one they've got to use in order to find the solution to this defense. I mean, it's been a good run from Gambit. Fair play, though. It's been 2 rounds where Cloud9's only had pistols, but making sure in this one, at least, that they're all going to have the game plan necessary. Stewie has an AWP, so does Skadoodle, so the double op setup is the switch that they want to go into the next round. I think these snipers are going to be the solution. We saw this on overpass towards the end. I think it might have been in overtime, and Stewie was dropped by Mo with an aggressive peek out towards long, so I mean, Stewie, a very different style than Skadoodle as an opera. We'll see where he heads with that. Skadoodle's going to go out towards long A. Stewie will be at the B bomb site. And Rush and Tarek joining him. Those two have done a pretty good job, all things considered, defending drop zone. It looks like Stewie's going to get the action.
Yeah, Gambit, they're pushing down. As you say, it is going to be all eyes on Stewie here while Skadoodle holds off long. They've rotated automatic round very preemptively. It's a good read from Cloud9. In comes the push. The wall of smokes goes down, and Stewie, he's able to open up with 1, make it 2. And this push being picked apart here by Stewie on the AWP. They've continued pushing into him, and this man, there's no stopping him. He's in with 3. And now Doja left to clutch this out. 1 versus 4. It's not looking likely. But he's worked himself into an angle. They don't know that he's here just yet. Stewie peeks into it, and that is 4 in total for him. As almost single-handedly, he wrecks that offensive from Gambit and propels Cloud9 forward to map point.
Yeah, he made that look easy. That's a beautiful shot. And from here, he's just got the time to find the one-on-one for Fitch, coming around the edge of the smoke, and even finding himself one more, pushing through with no knowledge. And great adjustment, great switch up from Cloud9. This time, the double op, the op in Stewie's hands works beautifully. Now Mo's going to push forward behind his own Molotov, and he pre-fires the angle. He almost finds Skadoodle. That's an op of their own, though. Skadoodle's got to be very careful, but they're messing with fire. Doja and Mo brought very low. Some good chip damage done to the Gambit players early on in this round.
Damage inflicted, though, on either side, and there's very little utility left here for Gambit.
Oh, Doja. This is the scary thing. Doja's going to wrap behind. Skadoodle hasn't considered this yet. Automatic is there with him, but I think they're going to apply enough pressure that Doja's going to be able to get a free kill. This defense in long A is about to get destroyed. They need to win this now. Automatic gets both of them. That's huge. Now he's turned around. He's aware of the danger, but he can't win. Tarek has gotten over here. I don't think Doja's going to expect someone that close. You can see towards the end of this game, all of these players trying to read their opponents to the level where they can gain any extra advantage, and it's not working out.
Stewie's up on platform, but his attention is focused elsewhere. Adrent finds himself trapped. They're going to try and bait Hobbit so that Adrent can find this frag, but there's Stewie in with the first. Now he spotted Adrent. Stewie misses that shot. He's darting back and forth, buying time, but Adrent was able to find it regardless, and now it's a 1-on-2. Rotations are in. They've got the control of the bomb, and Adrent knows where one of the players are, but Tarek's there to trade, and 16-11 to Cloud9. We're going to be going to map number 3. We are going to be seeing Mirage.
Yes, and Cloud9 win the last 2, the final 2 rounds in a row off the back of that double op setup. Great switch up. Skadoodle with 24 kills, Tarek with 23, Stewie and Automatic with 20 each to end it. A good performance from Cloud9 in an elimination game. Both teams now 1 map remaining to get into the Oracle Arena. We're going to head back to the analyst desk.
The map, the Gambit forged their dynasty upon. Things change, rosters change, and so do results. Cloud9 picked that one up. It was their selection. We have none other than Sponge and nothing to walk through this one. And I think this is going to be more of just an open forum of observations and analysis. Chad, just kind of walk us through what you're going to want to summarize.
Well, we established in the pre-show, right, that if they go slower towards that B site and execute on, they're just going to have the 3 players there being very stagnant. And that was the case early on. I felt Cloud9 had that game plan. They were able to execute onto that B site and they were able to get rounds. It just felt like, I don't know if they didn't trust in the game plan, but then when they started going fast B towards the end of the first half, everything started to fall apart for them, and that gave, you know, the guys from Gambit a chance back into the game.
Right, now Jordan, the first thing you said, you were like, right, here we go, it's cobblestone. Just don't go fast. Just take your time. You know, you can do exactly the same thing after their smokes and their Molotovs. That wasn't necessarily the case towards the end of that TR.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of the main gripes I guess I've had with C9 since they got Tarek calling is that well, for one, people have seen that he's not as much of the peanut brain meme as they thought. But
Sure.
for two, he does have a little bit of a, I wouldn't know if I would call it impatience, but he likes to be quicker with things. He likes to do it as a team. I wouldn't say he's doing some like
Of course not.
arrogant stuff, but he likes to get a little aggressive. And I think in the first part of the T side there, Chad, we saw the C9 just kind of sitting back and doing a nice normal default, and it worked out well.
Yeah.
And whenever they picked up the pace, I think the reason that happens is you just kind of see when you know where the opponents are, they're close A-halls or danger. Why not go kill them? Sometimes you get in that vibe of like, hey, we could probably just go trade on this.
Well, I
frag.
can win this, yeah.
I could win this duel. But Cbble is one of those maps where, as you saw, when you play slow, you have inherent advantages by causing them to waste utility and fall back. Now, maybe they thought Gambit's so good at sitting back in the sites, we got to change it up. You never know. There's a little bit of an intuitive feel that happens there. And then you saw Gambit on the flip side do it. Start slow and then get fast. So
Yeah.
I think it could have just been them getting a little excited on both sides.
Maybe just in Cloud9's case here, normally what you expect happening in most matches is teams will adjust the way they play throughout. You want to stay ahead. You want to stay a step ahead as an in-game leader. But Gambit are very, I guess, stubborn's maybe the wrong word, but they just like sitting back. They like turtling up, and they don't really need to adjust on the CT
Easy
side.
to overthink for someone like that.
Yeah, so like maybe for Tarek, and I was like, okay, now they might try and do something a bit more aggressive. We can catch them off guard if we do something fast. That could have been the trade-off mentally there, but just wasn't to be. Gambit were happy playing slow, far back.
Yeah, and that's something I just want to investigate just a little further, because we're going to be seeing more from Gambit's CT structure into our third map before we get there. This is something that hasn't been explored too much in the past when we talk about Gambit. So you're saying they play far back. The way to read into that is just if you execute on them, they will let you take control and then retake it. Is this? I mean,
Well,
isn't that pretty standard?
Not in all scenarios.
I guess think about it like this.
Yeah, help
You
me
have a
out.
map like Cash, right,
Yeah.
where you could easily fight for mid-control every round, and it's totally viable as a CT. A lot of times, Gambit will just not even opt to do that. So even when maps kind of give them the opportunity to play aggressive, they still just kind of focus on the choke points and sitting back and kind of playing crossfires.
Right.
And they like taking those fights, so you'll know where they're at, but they're kind of well-armed for staying home.
Is that approach when we talk about Counter-Strike fundamentals? Is that seen as like worse? Is that seen
I think
suboptimal?
it could be scary, right? 'Cause
Yeah.
if you play someone like a Fnatic, they're just going to literally walk into bomb
Yeah.
sites on you.
Yeah.
Or, maybe newer teams like an SK. So you just got to be careful. You got to be ready. Everyone's got to be on point.
For me, we played Gambit at the MLG Columbus qualifier on train, and they still had a Dren in the roster, and he would just sit at the back of like old bomb or the bomb train, and as we'd do executes on yard, we'd do splits, we'd use our utility, he's just sitting back, away from the flashes, away from the Molotovs, and just popping heads with an AK, with an M4, whatever he's been able to scavenge.
Yeah.
And normally we're used to doing those strats and catching people at E-box, right? We're coming out, we're going to get that kill, we're going to trade. Next guy's going to try and push out from con to get that frag, and it falls that way. But when we were playing against that team and they were sitting so far back, we'd do our execute, we'd expect them to be, we'd use our flashes for all the close areas, because people like to play close up on train, for example. And then we have nothing left, and he's just
Sure.
killing us from afar.
So alter
yeah.
your expectations if you're playing Gambit is
Definitely.
the kind of the summary of what they are capable of. And Cloud9 are indeed capable. I mean, they look fantastic in terms of preparing ourselves for this third map. Cloud9 going to be in high spirits. They managed to rebound. What was it that was working so well for Cloud9? What was the source of that victory, Jordan? If you were looking for it.
Well, aside from the 1v2 like we saw Tarek win, I don't know. They just seemed they got those pistols. Did they get T-pistol as well?
It felt like a team performance.
Yeah,
I
it
think.
just felt like they just there was never really anything special. I think they just need to keep relying on that.
It was an exciting Counter-Strike, right? They didn't need to pull out 1v4s, crazy clutches like that. It was just they did it as a team, and that's normally the better style of CS. That's the way I think I would prefer to see teams win.
I guess one thing I'll add, I think that was kind of irrelevant to going into Mirage. I think kind of what happened there in Cbble is it was kind of just a gloves off kind of thing there. I think in Mirage you're going to see two main points for me is does Cloud9 let them have mid control? I don't think they will. I think they're going to fight for it. And on the reverse, does Gambit let them have mid control? I think it's all about that mid control in these matches. These teams both have really good T sides, fast connector splits, fast B splits. So, I think both of them. It's going to be interesting because I think we're going to watch them try to disrupt each other.
Well, we'll consider that enough of a scene set. It goes to a third map. It's our final map of the evening and the final map of the group stages / quarterfinals. The Oracle Arena up next. Who's going to be there? Will it be Cloud9 or Gambit? Mirage to decide it, and that's coming up after the break.